Here on UBC TV. It is fairly a cold morning. No wonder we are in March, almost in March, because we know we have two rain seasons as a country, the March to May, then we have the August to December. So now that we are peeping into March, today being the 26th of February, which is also another historical day as far as transformation of the livelihoods of people in Uganda. It was on this date, that is last year, and month. It was on the 26th of February last year in Kibuku district when we saw the launch of the parish development model. Now, when I talk about the parish development model, I want to believe at least every Ugandan has heard of it, or a large percentage of Ugandans have heard that word and maybe have an idea. They may either have the right or wrong information, but at least when you talk about the parish development model, it's not a new thing to Ugandans. It's now 1 year since its official launch. And we want to look at an overview of how this program has performed, what has been the public perception, what are the facts on ground. Sometimes we've had negativity, go ahead. Sometimes we look at the bad history of some of these programs as an effect to the parish development model. Then also mindset, which happens to be one of the pillars, actually, the 7 pillars of this program. So joining me today on set, I have people who have been moving this program in different categories. I have, that is Mutoni Patrick, who is a research officer, PDM Secretariat at the extreme end. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Then just next to me is Madam Irene Mwanguzi, who is Enterprise Development Specialist. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
So with such a combination, I'm very sure I have the right people to discuss this. Now, what is important is for you to listen very attentively and know the truth, the realities, and most importantly, how this program works. I'm Robert Chirabo-Nyonyintono, and I'll begin with Patrick. It's now a year. Of course, it had issues when it was launched. We still had a bit of COVID-19. Not saying that we are declared COVID-free, but the magnitude of COVID-19 by then was still a bit, some here, some there, some restrictions here. But take us through, in summary, what this year has been of parish development models since the official launch.
Thank you. First of all, I greet the viewers. I'll begin by that day of launching, the 26th of February, 2022. That is when we launched, basically, the PDM in Kibuku district, launched by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. And since that time, a lot has happened. And to begin with, on that day of launch, when you move up to date, a lot has taken place. I want to begin by telling you, for example, guidelines have been put in place. We have the guidelines, both the implementation guidelines and the manual guidelines for each pillar, the 7 pillars. Each pillar has developed manuals. And these manuals are the ones that are guiding the operations of this strategy, or what you call a program. Since that time, like you know, money has been disbursed to SACCO accounts. We have close to 10,000 SACCOs so far established. Every SACCO, every parish, there is a SACCO. You know that? In every SACCO, we have a parish. And we are looking at 10,594 parishes in the whole country. But before SACCOs were put in place, there was a very important exercise of our foot soldiers. I call them the foot soldiers. The recruitment of parish chiefs in the country. We could not move without the recruitment of parish chiefs. As we talk, the recruitment of parish chiefs across the country is at 100%, which has been a very fundamental achievement. Why? Because these parish chiefs are the people to help us on implementing this program at a parish level. PDCs were formed. These are parish development committees. It is a 7-member committee headed by the chairperson LC2. The secretary of that committee is our own, the parish chief, who is the civil servant at the parish level. One of the key roles of these PDCs is to oversee the implementation of the program. Okay? Is to do the monitoring, the supervision of this program at the parish level and report back at a sub-county or a town council, and at the end of the day, at the district. So as we talk, like I have told you, the recruitment is at 100%. Okay? Extension workers is the next, because they are very key towards the implementation of this program. We are talking of Pillar 1. Okay? We are talking of the agricultural value chain development, which is production, marketing, and processing. So with that, even the extension workers are getting on board. Of course, the recruitment, we are just going to fill in those missing gaps, but we already have extension workers almost everywhere. And then after that one, like I told you, after the PDCs are put in place, we have had different trainings across the lower and higher local governments. I don't know if you get that when I talk of the lower local governments. Right from the parish, the lowest, up to the district. There are trainings that have been taking place. As we talk, actually, now we have the master TOTs training across the 18 sub-regions. The 18 sub-regions, we identified the master TOTs who are training now the core district team members implementing the parish development model. It is after this training, which actually is about 80%, because most of the regions have completed that exercise. We are just remaining with a few sub-regions. And they have so far, some of them have moved now to train, cascade down up to a parish and up to household level. Because after training the district core team, they are supposed to move down and train the other teams, the core PDM teams, up to a household level. The purpose of these trainings is to prepare households, basically, towards implementing pillar number 3, which is the financial inclusion pillar. I call it the famous financial inclusion pillar. Why? Because people tend so much to focus on that pillar, but we are saying we are moving as a whole of government, and we are looking at the 7 pillars. The difference with the pillar 3, it comes in to provide soft loans, okay, to the household members and these enterprise groups. But it is there in supportive. It is basically supporting the other pillars, okay? So we have moved that far, and after that, there are circles. Circles, like I told you, the circles were formed. Every parish has a circle.
Okay.
You get that? And like I've told you, every circle must have, every parish must have a circle. You get the point? Now, after that one, there were election of the circle leadership at every circle. The chairman, the treasurer, and the secretary. Okay? Now, that circle leadership is the one that is going to do the management and operations of there are people themselves, after they have elected their own, that we take the leadership mantle of these circles. Okay? We don't want scenarios of saying there are civil servants there to interfere with their operations. So that is why we left it to them to elect their own leaders. Now, these circles have been put in place. They have money. Every circle has money on its account. They opened accounts with their banks in their localities.
So how many circles are we looking at nationwide?
We are looking at 10,594 circles.
10,594 circles. Now, how many of these qualify or money has been dispersed to their accounts?
We have 9,200 something SACCOs so far
That have received money.
that have received the money, and they have fulfilled all the other conditions. But even put in consideration, there are, as we talk, even before we leave the studios, there are those SACCOs that will have met the conditions and they will still be moving forward.
Okay.
So we are looking at the end of this, basically by end of March, all the SACCOs will be in place. Not forgetting, I want to argue this point out clearly. People think, you see, the PDM, we are looking at a baby that has been, you must nurture this baby from one stage to another. Okay? So going through all these processes, my brother, is not easy. But we have tried so far. If you look at a target of 10,594 parishes, we have moved so far so good.
Well, that is a brief history of how you've been able to move. Now, listening to you, Patrick, there is something that comes into my mind. You've said PDM is a baby, but don't you think that either at a certain point you are putting the cart before the horse, or we're queuing more than what we can swallow? Because, for example, Pillar 3, in my opinion, would be at the extreme end. Because Pillar 1, I believe if we put people properly and they can produce, because the sole purpose of parish development model is to ensure that we bring the 39 who are not in the money economy, to have them in the money economy. Overall, we've been giving people money, soft loans. And I must say we are bad students, maybe. Because you have bad history of such. So when I hear financial inclusion, you've talked about the many circles that have gotten money on their accounts. And in my opinion, even if financial inclusion came last, I would believe if people mindset is changed, because these people have the land. You know, it's just a bit of their mindset. So don't you feel maybe we are rushing so much, the money element, pillar number 3, compared to other pillars in this period of 1 year? That's why it's raising people's concern to see actual presence of money transforming them.
My brother, to answer you on that one, why do you think you have taken long to disburse this money? We had to first prepare these people. That is why we encourage community mobilization and mindset change. There are a lot of activities that started even before the launch. And majorly we are rotating about community mobilization and mindset change. These trainings, these sensitizations to community members, we started with local leaders, technical leaders, and now we are cascading down to the community people. We are saying now that preparation is enough. Now we are saying if money is available and those who have been properly prepared, they are ready, we are ready to roll out pillar 3, which is the financial inclusion pillar. But why do you think it comes last? There are other pillars. They have been in motion. They have been in action, my brother. When you look at why do we delay to give out money, we are trying to handle that very issue you are talking about. We've been preparing households. We've been preparing the local leaders. Like I've told you, Rome wasn't built in 1 day. So that is why you see that financial inclusion pillar is coming in last. But when you look at other pillars, mostly the entry point pillar, I call it the entry point pillar, which is pillar 5, community mobilization and mindset change. The trainings started long time ago. Maybe something I didn't tell you. We started with trainings at regional level. In every sub-region, we would call the technical teams and a few local leaders for a training. Now, we are preparing them so that they move down cascade to the lower local governments to train these people. So there are a lot of activities that have been happening behind before rolling out Pillar 3. Pillar 3, the financial inclusion pillar, is just coming in now because we feel now people are ready. But that is why it is coming in last.
Yes. I love the word we feel now people are ready. This brings me to Irene. Irene, parish development model is a good program. And many will tell you that this is a very good program. But the sentiments that believe, much as it's a very good program, the implementation is the problem here. And today many will tell you, I'm with you on TV, we're discussing about the parish development model. But people want to see the parish development model. They're not seeing it. The ordinary person may think, is this something in books? So help us understand, and why do you think there's this negative sentiment that yes, it's good, but the implementation is going to be the problem, just like other programs similar aiming at poverty eradication have been?
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, viewers. Yes, the parish development model is a very good program, as you say. It's a very dynamic, life-changing strategy. Actually, I keep referring to it as more of a strategy than a program, because it's supposed to harness the existing opportunities at the parish level. So, and parish development model does not imply that other programs are irrelevant completely. That one, we get it wrong when they say that other programs failed. Yes, they must have had challenges, but they had their successes as well. We need to acknowledge that. And also embrace the parish development model as a good strategy that is coming to fulfill what was missing in the former programs or approaches. So at this time, we shouldn't judge parish development model badly. It's a success, I could say. By the time government has appreciated it and adopted it and used the parish policy to implement this strategy, already it's a success, because we are owning it as Ugandans. And as it's a people-centered strategy, it cannot fail, unless you're saying people are going to fail. Unlike other programs in the past, where people were treated as, recipients of government services, of inputs, of everything people were there to receive. So they developed a wrong mindset of thinking they should wait for government to purchase for them, maybe inputs, to do everything for them. We sit back and the extension worker looks for you. But this time round, the parish development model is a people-centered strategy, and it's a demand-driven strategy. It's supposed to help people demand or look for resources where they're supposed to be or where they're supposed to get them. So the aims of parish development model are not yet properly fulfilled, because in the last 1 year that we are celebrating now has been really, like Patrick said, to build the infrastructure that is needed. The human infrastructure, which is the leadership at the parish level and also at the high level of governance, which is we call it the policy committee is there. And then at the lowest level, which is the parish, we have the parish development committees. And then the circle leadership, the structure is in place, the infrastructure in terms of human leadership that is needed to move this program forward is in place. And that's why the Secretariat and all effort has been geared to prepare the people, to prepare the ground, so that everything that comes can fill in or fit in very well. So the mindset of thinking that PDM is going to fail is not right. And that's why we need to slowly change the way people perceive, the people think. This is a program which has just begun. It's just a year old. And so for whatever has happened now, for me, I take it as it's been an opportunity for people to appreciate it, to appreciate the strategy, to understand it, to at least to hear about it. Even the remotest village in this country now has heard about PDM. Much as they may not understand it fully, the way it operates, they have heard about it, that there's a strategy by government called PDM. For me, that's already a success. Because we are not here you cannot transform people in a very short time, 1 year, 12 months. You bring and then it starts making miracles. No, it takes a time, especially when it's centered on empowering the people. It has to be patient. We need to exercise patience and also hope that it's going to work. So it's a phased program. The first phase, which I feel is 1 year, is just to lay the ground, which is even still not properly laid, but we have gone into the ground, laid the infrastructure that is required, because without leadership structures on the ground, nothing can succeed. So already we've succeeded in that.
Well, we are still taking a glance at the parish development model. It is now a year since it was launched officially, that is in Kibuku district, on the 26th of February 2020. Today is the 27th, so it made a year yesterday, and yesterday was a weekend, so we are not here. But at least today we have the officials from the PDM Secretariat, and we are looking at how this program has moved. Now, many Ugandans know, like you rightly said, about the parish development model. But you see, we may say we need to give time to look at the success. But there is funds that are running this. And they must make sure that Ugandans have value for money. We must make sure that the money is in tandem. You talked about some programs and you said there are a bit of success made, some success stories. I have no doubt. There are some poverty eradication programs have been part of covered success stories there, but they're not in tandem with the input government puts into that. You know, you can't put billions, and when you look at the how you've empowered these people to contribute to the economy, and they're not even recovering 500. You know, we buy cows, we buy that, we buy that. At the end of the day, this die. A few stories on a village where they gave maybe 5 cows. If you find one still has the cow. Yes, that's still a success story. But in mathematics, or in education, you have a good day.
Yeah, true.
You know, you don't get 30 in mathematics, and you start list. We have someone who got a 30, much as we have those that got zeros. But how do we, Patrick, how do we make the ordinary person understand that really there is success? And if at all, are there certain achievements you can highlight? Maybe that the ordinary mind, you know, this program is targeting not technical people like you, not the elite that can read, that can hear. We are now at foundation stage. We are now putting committees. Your target is this poor man who lives hand to mouth and actually doesn't save. Here there is nothing is bring to the money economy. If he grows food, he's eating it and waits for another day. So that ordinary person, how do we show him that the president launched? He has this man allocated to parish development model, but this is success. Please try to go into the mind of that man and help him understand. I may, Secretariat people may, the land may, but they're not the target of this program.
True.
Thank you. My brother, like I told you, when you look at these beneficiaries we are targeting, the household beneficiaries, the trainings I've been telling you, the purpose of these trainings is to cascade down to these people so that they are taken through, they're educated. So the sensitizations and trainings taking place, they are not basically to help the technical people and the political people you're talking about at the district level or at the sub-county level. No, we are looking at the household beneficiaries. And when you talk of now, these beneficiaries, you see, they have had these programs, they have, you see, it is still a question of mindset. If you look at the design of this program, the way it has been designed and the way it is being implemented. Now, these other past programs, we the technical people, I call the technical people, we used to plan for these people. But my brother, now, the planning, the budgeting, and all that is going to begin from a parish level, meaning a household beneficiary is involved right through the parish chief, through the extension workers, through the circle leadership who are their own people, through the enterprise groups in which they are going to be prepared. Even you look at the people so far we have given money so far, those who are ready. Now what we are doing, every district that is ready and has met all the conditions, money is disbursed. Now, but because they have gone through these trainings, there are some success stories we are seeing. For example, the other day I was seeing people who are in piggery, in these different, we have different enterprises, okay? And they are so far they are doing well. They are doing well. Why? Because people have been properly prepared, have been taken through, including the cost analysis, the Kibalo, that when you are given, for example, 1 million shilling, how are you going to help this household member? That is now, we have commercial officers, you are aware, at a district level, and this is part of their work. They are helping these household members, them and the parish chiefs, they are helping them to basically take them through and try to give them guidance on how to invest, for example, the 1 million. Now, when you look at such interventions, they have really tried to bring, they have narrowed the gap. By the way, the other programs you're talking about, like I told you, the planning and budgeting programs would just come from you think for the people. But this time we are saying no. It is the people themselves at a parish level to identify and prioritize their needs. They identify the pressing needs. It is not a cow somewhere with his technical people to sit and think that these people need a borehole or these people need a road. No, it is the people themselves who know better what are their problems and how they can solve them. That is why you see that even all the structures that have been put in place, at least the technical people are there to supervise and monitor. But the rest, it is people themselves to implement their own program. The technical people, we can always come in to train, to sensitize. After we have properly trained and sensitized these people, we are supposed to go back and now keep an eye and see how are the people progressing in as far as household beneficiaries are concerned and their enterprises, how are they faring. So that is basically a very important aspect that we should not overlook, and I see it making wonders in districts where we have rolled. For example, Kayunga, people are doing well. The people who are given a million, by the way, it is to a maximum of $1 million. But depending on the business proposal someone has submitted, someone would take 500. There are people who are taking less. Say, I don't need $1 million, I need 500,000, according to his business proposal. And because these people have been taken through these cost analysis, the Chibalo issues and all these issues. So really, I see a lot happening now. There is a bit of now, you see people are getting seriously involved in this program. And we expect after 2-3 years, the number will reduce from 39% to about 10%. By the way, these interventions you are talking of, do you know why the figures have reduced from a very big percentage to 39? It is because of the various government interventions. The other day I was in the West Nile. I was traversing those district local governments over PDM programs. And I found this program, NUSAF 2 and 3, they have success stories. So those who messed up with them, yeah, they may be there. But people who remained on the line, they are doing very well. And as we talk, they are the people in those communities that are doing all kinds of businesses. So I have a feeling that even with the intervention of this PRF, okay, and the 7 pillars, it will not leave people the same. Trust me, my brother, it is not going to leave people the same.
Well, that is a desire for every Ugandan, because we want to see a country where everyone is in the money economy. You have a big population, very productive, contributing, then the tax base widens as well. And of course, the tax burden on those that have may reduce because many are contributing to that. Allow me to go for a very short break. When I return, I'll still have my guests on set, Patrick and of course Irene here, and we will still be discussing more regarding the parish development model. The magic bullet, we believe, will transform our rural poor people that are not in the money economy to the money economy. Are we on the right track? Wait when we return.
Of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transaction. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation.
We have a product that is ready for schools, supermarkets.
Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services.
I now harvest a lot of cocoa. When I harvest it, I sell. After selling, I put money in my project. I have two projects. One is for construction of my house, two is for educating me.
Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching. That is Good Morning Uganda Extra, an extension of Good Morning Uganda. Today we are looking at the Parish Development Model, PDM, as it marks 1 year of existence since its launch. That was on the 26th of 2022 in Kubuku District, where His Excellency launched this program. Now with me, in case you've just joined, I have officials from the Parish Development Model Secretariat with whom we are discussing this very program. Has it been a success, the 1 year? Have there been challenges? And how do we move forward? But this brings me to Irene here. When we talk about the Parish Development Model, one of the most important things for Ugandans to know is the 7 pillars, because this is what it rotates on. So briefly take us through these pillars and help us per pillar. There are 7. Who are we targeting in particular? Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, PDM is an integrated approach to delivering economic services to the people. And so it cannot be done by just one pillar. That's why we have 7 pillars. One, and the most important pillar, is the agricultural value chains, which is supposed to help the farmers and the people living in subsistence production to increase productivity and improve productivity as well. So it means it flows from production to consumption. So services or activities along the value chain have to all be aligned towards the market, from production to the market. So our role as PDM practitioners or the Secretariat is to help align systems along the value chain for the benefit of the 39%. And then we have a pillar on, second one is called infrastructure and economic services. And this one deals with infrastructure development, because you cannot produce what you can't transport. You can't produce what you can't market. So this pillar comes in handy to provide the marketing strategy, especially in terms of infrastructure, the roads, the markets, construction and all that. And then we have the pillar on financial inclusion, which we've been discussing more and which is more popular, but it's not the only pillar. And it's not
very popular indeed.
Yes.
It is the only pillar that the public can easily feel.
I know.
Either it is working or not. When people are
Yes.
receiving the money,
Yes.
no one can forget. When people disappear with the money, no
True.
one can forget.
True.
So financial inclusion is one of the outstanding pillars, I must say.
Yes, it is.
Though
But
for me, it really disturbs me. Because many people are now concentrating on that one pillar.
true, which is not really correct.
Forgetting that they have gotten money before.
True.
It has not
So-
transformed them.
Money is normally not a motivator.
Yeah.
It does not motivate good results. But it's the mindset, the vision of a person or the vision of a nation that propels us to put everything together to make sure we deliver. But money is just a lubricant towards getting what we need. So we must have it, but let's be very careful not to be driven by the pillar of financial inclusion and then we leave out the rest. Otherwise, we're not going to meet our target and our vision together. We need to keep on reflecting on the purpose or the main goal of PDM. It's not just to give out money as before, but it's to really achieve financial transformation of the people. And so we need all these pillars working together. And then the fourth one is social services that includes education and health and water. You cannot, empower a person who is sick and then they can transform themselves. That's why health is very critical from the lowest level, and also education is very, very important. To put all these things together, concepts together, you need an educated citizenry. So that's why we are putting a lot of emphasis on that as well. And then we have the fifth pillar is community mobilization and mindset change. It comes 5, but in terms of operationalizing the model, it's the first one. It has to really go into the communities and mobilize the people, transform the way they think, because if we want to transform a community, you must start with an individual. The mindset is key. Once I'm transformed, then I'm able to be cautious about my surrounding, about my environment. And so it cascades and goes back to the parish as a unit of mobilization. So that's very, very key aspect. And it's going to continue throughout the implementation of PDM, mindset change and mobilization of the communities. And then we have the seventh one, which is the sixth one, sorry, which is
PDMIS.
Parish Development Management Information System, which is very critical also, because it also has to start from the beginning to document the data, get to understand who are the 39%, who are the people who are outside 39%. So we need that data and also continue to track progress. Without data, you cannot track it. We have to monitor success, and we have to use data to monitor that and evaluate at the end of the day. And then the last one, which is also very critical, is the governance and management pillar. So in the governance, also without it, you cannot operate. You cannot work in a vacuum. You must have the infrastructure that is needed to deliver the services. So all these must work together. And so all of us, and I would like to appeal to implementers of PDM to be very careful, not sidetrack towards money, the financial inclusion, and leave out all these pillars. They all must be developed at the same time and delivered together to make sure we achieve the end product.
Well, they all must support each other. Unfortunately, many people are so much into the money element, but that alone cannot see the transformation we need as a country. Now, this brings me to ask myself, I've had financial inclusion, I've had mindset change, I've had community mobilization, then establishment of the data and all that. But who are we targeting? Who is to benefit Patrick? And maybe who doesn't? For example, this word mindset change. You know, Uganda is a very interesting country. Every time we come up with a statement, I can give you 3 or 4. You know, there's that now we are talking about mindset change, mindset change. There's a time Patriotism was on the lips of everybody. Patriotism, patriotism. There was a time, anyway, in the interest of time, I won't go to many, but we've always had some phrase there that shows, you know, we must go into the mind of somebody and align them with what we are seeing. So who are these people?
Good question, my brother. Basically, you are asking about who are the 39%. Okay? The household beneficiaries we are targeting are, by a definition of subsistence households, these are people who are producing only for the stomach. And we are saying, our role and all the pillars she has explained to you, they are supportive in nature, that they now come in to support household members, okay, to begin producing as much as they are producing for the stomach, but now they should look at producing for what to take on the market. So these household beneficiaries, basically we are targeting, are people who are still subsistence, who are in subsistence production. The ones Mzee calls, the ones who work for Kidachonga, people who are only working for the stomach, and they have nothing to bring on market. Because like she has explained to you, we have pillar 2, which is infrastructure and economic services. If you move across the country, roads have been worked on. But what are you taking on that road to take it to the market? You get? So those are the target beneficiaries we are looking at. Now, how do we build capacities of the 39% to be able to transform from the subsistence to a money economy? You get? Now, how build these capacities basically is bringing in pillar 3. The other pillars, like she has told you, and I want to emphasize it to you and the other viewers. The viewers have that negative, there is a way they perceive things. Now, they are what we call the entry point pillars, which is community mobilization and mindset change, and pillar 6, which is PDMIS, Parish Development Management Information System. Now, that one is about data collection. We are collecting data on what? On the question you've asked me, on household beneficiaries who are subsisting. Because our target, even pillar 3, comes in to support the 39%. By the way, all the pillars are for all the people. It is only pillar 3 that comes in to support all the other pillars.
Because when you provide social services, everybody may enjoy
roads,
them.
Shall we have roads only for the 39? No, we are saying it is for all the people. Pillar 3 only comes in to support all the other pillars, okay, when it is supportive in nature. So like I've told you, the entry point pillars to us is pillar 5, which is community mobilization and mindset change. Then pillar 6, which is the Parish Development Management Information System. And then pillar 1, because this pillar 3 is going to come in. But shall we just give you money? You must be in production. You must be in marketing and processing, what we call the agricultural value chain development. So you must be doing something. Now, when you look at these pillars, so they are all supportive in nature, but they are supporting towards production. Pillar 1 under MAIF. So that pillar 1 is very key. Now, when you say, who are we targeting? Like I've told you, we are targeting the 39%, the household beneficiaries who are still subsisting. And by definition of subsistence, I told you, is producing for the stomach. But we are now looking at moving these people from producing only for the stomach, but
to commercial agriculture.
To a commercial agriculture.
Well, that explains. So this is not for everybody in terms of financial inclusion, but the other pillars, they're all embracing. When a road is constructed, we all benefit. When social services are extended closer, we all benefit. Now, this brings me, Irene, I must believe, did you have targets for this 1 year? That these you must have attained, and how? If there are, have you been able to do that? And of course, if some challenges as well. In the interest of time, let's make that a bit brief.
Okay. Yeah, I'll really summarize. The target for this year really was to bring every Ugandan on board in terms of understanding PDM, and knowing how it operates. So it's really 1 year is supposed to take place in the mobilization. I can categorize it and summarize it as mobilization and mindset change. And I think together, working in a coordinated way, we've been able to achieve that. Every Ugandan in every part of this country has heard about PDM. They may not have understood it very well, conceptualized it to the latter, but I believe they have understood what PDM is. And so we are ready to move to the next stage, to the next stage of development of the model. And so the success story is that if you go to any part of this country, if there's anybody who is saying they don't know about PDM, they may not understand how it works. Yes, we agree, because it takes some time, but they must have heard about it. That one is clear. So we are happy, we are encouraged that that has happened. And like you said in the beginning, it was given a big kind of launch. And so the momentum has continued to be at that
very hyped.
Very, very hyped. Unless everybody tells you, yes, I hear about PDM, but I don't understand it. Yes, at least they have heard. And for me, that's the beginning. And now where we are going is to make it more internalized. People need to internalize it, and then we move it to another level. And of course, you can't jump from 1 year, because we had this target of making sure people are sensitized, and then we go into action completely. We need to reflect, and I think that's why we're here, part of it, to reflect and say, have we achieved anything, or there's something missing? So we are now going into evaluation, looking to ourselves also and know, have we achieved or not? So that's where we are going.
Well, the public, they're the best judges at that. Of course, like you said, there could be a bit of not understanding how the program works, because that is also very critical, that before you criticize, you must know how does the program work. I've heard a number of politicians talk so much about the parish development model. And when I listen to them, I discover, don't take offense in this, that many are ignorant about the program.
True.
But they are very vocal talking about it. I remember one politician said, "They said about kusente smene bazifuna." So I'm like, Chairman, LC5, you want parish development model money?
That's the point.
If me have not gotten, then what about the ordinary Ugandan? And I just said, well, he who has not researched has no right to speak, but we are in Uganda. Well, Patrick, as we come to an end, how does one, if they want information regarding the parish development model, how do they get this information?
Good, thank you. Now, as you are aware, in the 2021-2022 financial year, His Excellency put in place, and His Excellency and the entire cabinet put in place the PDM Secretariat, which is housed in the Ministry of Local Government, which will maybe bring also me to a point of explaining to you why the PDM Secretariat is in local government. Why? Because local government is the one with structures up to the grassroots level. So if you want information in as far as PDM is concerned, we have offices at the Workers' House here, where I sit. We have, you could come there, you'll get all the information. We have so many written documents on PDM. Then the various local governments, as we talk, all district local governments at least have information on PDM, including guidelines, including manuals, including everything. At the district level, you'll get this information. At the secretariat, you come, you'll get information. At the ministry, then even at the respective pillar ministries, because the 7 pillars we've explained to you are in different ministries. For example, pillar 3, like they told you, the financial inclusion. If you want anything to know about financial inclusion pillar, you could come either at our offices or go to Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and Ministry of Trade. So when you go to these ministries, you will still get the information in as far as PDM is concerned. But majorly, there is a PDM Secretariat.
At the grassroots level.
And at the grassroots level, you look at the PDCs, begin with the sub-counties, because in Uganda, everywhere, at least now, there are office structures of a sub-county, the old gomborolas. You're going to get the information in as far as PDM is concerned. But not forgetting, we have our foot soldiers on the ground who are the parish chiefs. So anybody in village A, village B, and you cannot come to the ministry, or you cannot come at the district local government, look for your parish chief who is with you in the parish. All the entire PDC, they will give you the information in as far as PDM activities are concerned.
Well, Irene, you're parting short in a minute.
Yes, I just want to encourage people, Ugandans, that we're on the right track, and PDM is a very good opportunity for us to transform our country from predominantly subsistence to higher money economy. So let's be positive, let's embrace it with gratitude and make sure that we achieve, and we shall indeed achieve. But let's look back after 5 years and see how far we've gone. It's a great vision for the nation, and it's a great opportunity where all Ugandans are given chance to think and empower themselves for their own wealth creation and development. So I wish you success as we enter into the second phase or second year of implementing PDM. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much. That is Mutoni Patrick, who happens to be a research officer with the PDM Secretariat. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, Irene Mwanguzi, Enterprise Development Specialist, PDM Secretariat. Thank you so much. Well, we are all optimistic that it works great and transforms our brothers, our sisters, the 39% who are not in the money economy. However, it's upon us all to take interest and have a positive mindset towards the parish development model.
Exactly.
Before you come out with negativity, discouraging people, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. There is so much that they have changed in the structures of the PDM compared to other ways how things were done. But we need to support one another for us to have this a success. Have a lovely day. God bless you.
Okay.